This is my Honda GX120. I've just taken the head off just to see what the piston is like. It looks pretty good. It's got a dome around it, like that's indented, but as you can see there's not too much carbon build-up there. That's just the carburetor hitting there. But I did however notice that on the board, just at the bottom here, there's like a different texture. I can't see it with the camera. I'll take a photo of and then put it up in the video, but yeah, just wondering if anyone knows what that's from. Okay, I've got my Ryobi tool set up. It's got the wire brush in it. I like to use the extension handle, just means I don't have to hold the thing. And so I'll just be going over that, getting that all cleaned up. Okay, I've cleaned up the head. You can see that looks much better, not much carbon. Now I'm going to go into the valves. You can see that that's quite black, so I'll just give that a run over. And then I'll go into lapping. Okay, I've gone over both the valves with my rotary tool. Some of the carbon was so thick in places that I actually needed to get a little screwdriver and just scrape it off, just very gently scrape it off, otherwise you might damage it. I'll go into lapping now. Okay, I'm going to lap the intake valve first. What you do is you get this special lapping paste from any auto shop. You just get a bit on your finger, maybe a bit more. You just put it around where the valve seats. It's hard to do holding a camera, but you just put a tiny little bit around there, just a tiny little bit, and it comes in two parts. This is the grinding paste, which is quite thick and rough, and then you finish it off with that. Now it's hard. You just need a tiny little bit. Okay. Now to actually do it, what you do is you get this special lapping tool. Basically it's just a piece of wood with suction caps on the end. Put your valve in. Put it on there. And then to do it, you put your hands like, imagine my other hand was on the other side, and you do that while pushing down. And then every couple of seconds you lift it up, just like that, and you keep going. And you know when to stop because the powder, you hear a change in the powder. That's when you know when to put some more powder in or clean it out. Okay, I found the tripod for it. So this is what I do anyway. So I just do that. Pretend as if you're making a campfire. Lift it up. Now I don't know whether you can hear the noise change, but at first it was very rough. And now it's still a little bit more. We'll just keep doing this. Okay, I've been doing this for about 30-40 seconds, and you can hear that it's not really doing much. You can hear that all the little grains have sort of broken up into smaller pieces, and that's how I tell when you put more paste on. Okay, I put new paste on. And you'll be able to hear how rough it is. You can hear how rough that is. You know it's doing something. Keeps coming out. Okay. You don't want to lap it too much because you don't want to take too much metal off. I think normally about 2 with the rough and 2 with the fine is quite sufficient, but it just depends on how you do it, and I'm sure there's people out there who will say do it more, do it less, you know. But that's what I do anyway. Okay, I put the fine paste on, and you'll be able to hear the difference in noise right from the start. Sounds like it's not really doing much. It's just finishing it off. It's hard to tell when to get more powder with this one, but I want to always clean off the old powder when you're putting new one on. Don't just put it over the top. Okay, I've lapped it twice with the fine powder, and you can see that it's made a nice finish on it. Oh, I probably can't, but it's made quite a nice finish on it and in there. Now onto the exhaust. It's quite shitty. It's not very, like, on the intake. See how nice and smooth that silver that is around there. On the exhaust it's all black, and on the valve as well it's quite bad. Okay, I've lapped the exhaust valve now 3 times with the coarse powder, and twice with the fine powder. You can see the difference it's made. It's quite shiny now, and that's also quite alright. So now I'm just going to reassemble it. I'm not going to do anything with the rings because I'm worried that sort of weird mark will just wear them down way too quickly. Many people say you need a new head gasket. Well, you do, but I really don't need to buy one. There'd probably be, I don't know, have to buy one off Honda. Honda's probably not a cheap brand to get second-hand parts from, so I'm just going to leave that. When putting an engine back together, you want to make sure it's extremely clean. To do this, you can just use a rag with terps or petrol on it, but I get my air compressor and put some petrol in it. That makes an extremely fine spray which will just disperse any bit of grit. Obviously when doing this you want to make sure you've got well ventilated area, no lighters, that's all goes without saying, but yeah. Okay, I've just put the head back on, and while turning it I've noticed something that I'll show you. It goes, okay, exhaust, the left one's that's the exhaust there, that's intake. So now the exhaust's opening, so okay, that's exhaust stroke. Intake's opening, it's at the bottom of the stroke. Now right now, I don't know if you can see, but the exhaust port is, it's going down a minute amount, not much, but it could be enough to lose compression. That's why the head might have been black. Now there's just a little flutter just after the intake. Just after the intake. Okay, I've put my Honda GX120 back together, but I've come up with one bolt left over. I have no idea where it goes because everything has got bolts that I took off. I am lost as to where it goes, but oh well. Well, it obviously works. It started first pull. I don't know what I'm going to do about that exhaust valve flutter. I don't really feel like taking off the crankcase because that's quite a big job. And since the engine goes, I'll probably just leave it. If anyone has any information on how I should do things better, just leave a comment.